Wish they never made it.
Well, here we have it. So
From where?
it's projected to open less than the Marvels. It had a $2 million budget, by the way, guys. Wish is Disney animated next film. It has a $2 million budget. It's projected to open worse than the Marvels. It's got a worse Rotten Tomatoes score than Strange World, which bombed on Thanksgiving as well. And it's labeled in some of these reviews as the most aggressive piece of Disney propaganda in years. It is devoid of any magic and charm. It's a paint by numbers Disney flick, and it's being hated. So funny stuff. Let's take a look. So Roger Ebert blasted the flick, name dropping Ron DeSantis, even Joseph McCarthy, and said it's not just the abundant references to everything from Peter Pan to Mary Poppins to Bambi and beyond, but the sense that the entire production is about how we really need to keep wishing on not just stars, but Disney branded ones to make ourselves happy. There's also a reading of a film about a political leader that crushes the dreams of Disney adults that made me think of Ron DeSantis and even a little Joseph McCarthy, but that's a different piece. 50%, 80 reviews. Awful.
Wow.
Awful.
Top critics really hate it more.
Even Grace Randolph chimed in and said that there's some questionable political undertones.
Oof.
It's terrible. Estimated $45 to $50 million opening. Terrible. Wow. Absolutely terrible.
It'll be on Disney Plus at the end of before the end of the year.
Yeah, probably. I mean, these reviews are absolutely atrocious. Like I did a video on it and kind of took a look. Some of them are so bad. It's like we'll take a look. So let's take a look at this here. Though there will surely be an audience of youngsters that soak up the splendid tunes, Wish delivers in a way that Disney used to with its straight-to-VHS sequels with off-brand humor, inconsistent animation, and low-budget obstacles. Wish will indeed likely inspire some merchandise sales, but not a whole lot else. It's just, like, everyone hates it. I mean, yes, there are people that liked it, of course. But the vast majority are just like, this is utterly awful. Oddly, and rather fascinatingly, this is a film about a spiritual revolution. Can Asher, a humanist, convince the islanders to reject the man in the embroidered robe who preaches that he alone is a conduit for miracles? It is all standard Disney stuff, down to the broadly sketched loss of a parent in Asher's past, though without any of the vibrant animation that typically injects these films with life. Like, why did they even make this? I mean, the story itself is basically man gives wishes, girl didn't get her wish, goes on a mission.
Well, there's also this really depressing aspect to the movie, I guess, where if you do get your wish, you forget about wanting it in the first place or some shit. Like, it's a very twisted kind of like thing to it. And there's a bunch of Easter eggs thrown in for Disnerds, but at the end of the day, I've heard nothing but bad things about it. Like, it's a terrible generic film, and it could have been something interesting considering the concept, but it feels like they're just, it just, from what I keep hearing from people, it just sounds like a generic film people are trying to make like a Disney movie, but it's not a Disney movie kind of thing.
Oh, God. Well, apparently it references everything as well. Like, it just references, It is just a celebration. It's a Disney ego jerk off. They're just jerking their ego.
Well, and you could have done this right. You could have.
We could have done it in a fun way. It could have been like, what was that anime? What was that? There was a Disney animation where everything from Disney was almost in it at one point.
Well, that
wasn't there?
Well, there was the game Kingdom of Hearts, and then there was the recent thing they did for the 100th anniversary thing. I mean, they've done other specials and stuff in the past where they've mixed up the characters, but
surely they could have just had a movie featuring most of the characters.
Honestly, for the 100th anniversary, I think you should have had a film starring the main Disney cast and then filled out with other Disney characters, right? Like almost like a Toontown movie of sorts. Kind of like, you could have done something with that. I mean, Just the idea of the first wish on a star, like where did that come from? Just that concept is interesting in and of itself, but it just sounds like they fumbled the ball the whole way. And this sounds like something Lasser would have tossed out 12 times over and been like, started, because this is not where we're going with this. I mean, you can't just keep throwing things at the audience and expecting them to go, oh, I remember that. Like member berries all over again.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, it's terrible. People, sure, it has lots of problems and feels half-baked. Oh, we should have just rolled the intro for this one, shouldn't we?
Yes, please.
So what kind of dumb shit did Grace say this week?
It's one of the greatest things I ever saw. I loved it.
Well, here's what she says this week. That's fucking stupid. Oh, God. Right. Anyway, sure, it has a lot of problems and feels half-baked. There you go. That's where the review should have ended, Grace. You numbnuts. But that Disney magic is powerful stuff. You mean their money? You mean their $50 that they probably paid you? Fans of Disney animation will find it fun, largely thanks to great performances by Chris Pine and Ariana DeBose. This is the thanks I get. It's a great song.
Wow.
Fucking terrible.
Disney magic is powerful stuff.
The check went through for Grace at least. $50 is $50.
$50.
It's more like the cocaine is powerful stuff.
$50. $50.
$50.
Well, there you go, guys. Wish. Again, this will be a movie that will probably lose about $100 million.
At least.
$200 million.
How do you think it's going to compare to Strange World culture?
Oh gosh. Oh, I think it'll do slightly better than Strange World. Look at the numbers. This film is projected. Now I'm about to lose my stuff. You can tell. This film is about to take a 6-day weekend. Yes, I just said it here domestically and only earn about $50 million. Do the math. That's
about $8 million a day. Yeah,
exactly. This thing is a dumpster fire floating down a river, headed towards a waterfall, into a freaking volcano that's active and ready to spew it on out. This is disastrous.
Well, I wonder if it will do better than Strange World, because that's why I asked, because this actually has a lot more competition. You have Trolls, you have Five Nights at Freddy's, which is also going to take the little bit older crowd.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You still have Taylor Swift. So there goes your 12-year-old girls. Right. Yeah. And again, this is a holiday weekend, and it's sometimes it can be a wonderful holiday weekend for the theaters. Sometimes it can be a piss poor one for the theaters. It all depends on if there's something out there that folks want to take their kids to see. Well, and at this point, I think Trolls is going to be the one to get the bump. If I'm not mistaken.
It's got good word of mouth as well, Trolls. So.
Yeah, well, even
it's got Disney, the NSYNC reunion going on in it too. Go ahead, Culture. I'm sorry.
No, you guys. I keep talking over to the top of you. I'm sorry, but this has that same problem that that Strange World did. It's all negative from everybody, including top critics. It's getting wrecked. I mean, okay. Historically bad is what happened with Strange World. It only earned $12 million domestically at open. It had a similar budget and actually lesser budget, I guess, at $135 million, although with promotion, even though they pulled that substantially, that film still cost Disney $200 million. And it only made, at the end of the day, $69 million globally, its entire run. I think they're being very optimistic about Wish, and although maybe they understand that those first 6 days will do well because there is a lot of downtime for kiddies during the holidays here domestically, but this thing isn't going to open internationally, and they spent $200 million plus on it before they even advertised it, and it has been advertised everywhere, and they know this thing's a flop already.
Yeah, I can't see it. I mean, yeah, I just can't see it being a massive success. I mean, you're looking at hundreds of millions of dollars wasted now.
Yeah,
it's not going to do very well. There's too much competition out, and again, brand damage, like we touched on earlier. Disney as a brand is damaged. People are like, whatever. You're not subverting anything. It's nothing new. You're not moving anything forward in a good way. Like, it's not. Nah, I'm good.